You're walking through a forest. Birds are calling from the canopy, insects buzz under the leaves, and if you look close, life is everywhere. Burrowed, perched, fluttering. But here's the unsettling part. Almost none of it is permanent. Not just the leaves or the animals, the species themselves. Over 99% of all living things that have ever existed on Earth are gone, extinct. That includes creatures you've never heard of, and some that ruled the planet for millions of years. Dinosaurs, trilobites, giant dragonflies the size of seagulls. All wiped out. But don't panic yet. Extinction isn't always a disaster. It's part of how evolution works. Species come and go. The environment shifts. One form of life fades, and another takes its place. It's called background extinction. And under normal conditions, it ticks along at a slow natural rate. One species every few hundred years, give or take. But every once in a while, something changes. Not just one species disappears, but most of them. Entire ecosystems collapse. Predators vanish. Prey vanishes. Even microbes. It's not a quiet fade. It's a reset. These are known as mass extinctions, and they happen fast, at least in geological terms. In some cases, life on Earth has been cut down by more than 75% in just a few thousand years. Sometimes less. What causes these collapses? That's the terrifying part. Sometimes it's a shift in climate. Other times it's a volcanic eruption that won't stop. Or an asteroid the size of a city traveling faster than a bullet. Whatever the trigger, the result is always the same. The old world ends and a new one begins. And here's where it gets personal, because some scientists believe the next mass extinction has already begun. Not from space, not from lava, but from us. So what happened in the past? And what's happening now? Let's rewind Earth's clock. Earth has been through a lot. Frozen solid, scorched by magma, slammed by asteroids. But 5 times in its long history, it faced something different. Events so devastating, they wiped out the majority of life on the planet. We call them the Big 5 mass extinctions, and each one reshaped the story of evolution. The first was the Ordovician-Silurian extinction, around 443 million years ago. At the time, most life was in the ocean. Then temperatures suddenly plummeted. Massive glaciers formed. Sea levels dropped. Up to 85% of marine species vanished. Next came the late Devonian extinction, about 300 to 75 million years ago. The oceans lost oxygen, possibly from algal blooms or volcanic activity. Corals, trilobites, and early fish died off. Over 3/4 of all species gone. Then came the worst one, the Permian-Triassic extinction, 252 million years ago. Often called the Great Dying, this event wiped out over 90% of all species. Scientists think enormous volcanic eruptions in what is now Siberia released massive amounts of carbon dioxide, heating the planet and acidifying the oceans. Forests collapsed. Insects, fish, reptiles, gone. Earth nearly became lifeless. The fourth event was the Triassic-Jurassic extinction, around 201 million years ago. This one is still mysterious, but again, volcanoes seem to be the culprit. As continents split apart, greenhouse gases surged, and about 80% of species disappeared. But it opened the door for dinosaurs to take over. And then there's the one you've probably heard of, the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction, 66 million years ago. An asteroid 10 to 15 kilometers wide slammed into what's now Mexico. Fires, tsunamis, and a nuclear winter followed. The sunlight disappeared. Plants died. So did most animals, including the non-avian dinosaurs. But each of these extinctions did more than end lives. They reset evolution. The species that survived adapted, evolved, and took the stage. Mammals rose after the dinosaurs. Humans came much later. So extinction isn't just about endings. It's about turning points. But now the question is, are we standing at the edge of the 6th turning point? And if so, what's driving it this time? Let's look at the evidence. The signs are everywhere, if you know where to look. Species are disappearing at a rate we haven't seen since the dinosaurs vanished. According to the UN, Over 1 million species are now at risk of extinction. That's not just unusual, it's alarming. Because under normal circumstances, the background extinction rate is incredibly slow. Maybe 1 to 5 species per year. Today, it's estimated to be 100 to 1,000 times faster. So what's causing this? It's not an asteroid, it's not supervolcanoes, it's us. Humans have become the dominant force shaping life on Earth. And we're not just changing one part of the planet, we're changing all of it. Habitat destruction is at the top of the list. Forests are cleared, wetlands drained, coral reefs bleached. Animals that once had endless miles to roam are now boxed into shrinking patches of land. Climate change is accelerating everything. As temperatures rise, oceans warm, ice melts, and weather patterns shift, ecosystems that once worked like clockwork are falling apart. Pollution adds another layer. Plastic in the oceans, toxic runoff in rivers, pesticides in the air and soil. Even noise pollution affects animal communication and reproduction. Then there's overexploitation, overfishing, overhunting, overharvesting. Entire populations vanish faster than they can recover. And we haven't even mentioned invasive species, which can wipe out native species by eating them, outcompeting them, or bringing in diseases they've never seen before. Put all of that together, and you get a planet in crisis. A sixth mass extinction, not caused by nature, but by a single species changing everything too fast. And here's the twist. We're not just watching this happen from the outside. We're part of the system too. The web of life doesn't end where your backyard does. So the real question becomes, what happens when enough threads in that web are cut? And is there a way to stop it before it unravels completely? Let's take a closer look at what it actually means when a species disappears. Extinction isn't always sudden. It doesn't usually come with a bang. Most of the time, it begins quietly. So quietly, you might not even notice it's happening. It starts with a pressure. Maybe it's deforestation, or a new predator, or the temperature creeping just a little too high. The species doesn't vanish overnight. It starts to struggle. Fewer places to live, fewer chances to find food, fewer safe places to raise young. As the population shrinks, something even more dangerous happens. Genetic diversity begins to fade. That's the variety within a species that allows it to adapt to change. Without it, one disease or a bad year of weather could wipe out what's left. Some species get stuck in a population bottleneck, a point where there are so few individuals left that even finding a mate becomes rare. Their numbers might hang on for a while, but recovery becomes almost impossible. And once the last one is gone, it's over. You've probably heard of the passenger pigeon. At one point, it was the most numerous bird in North America, maybe even the world. There were billions, flocks so thick they darkened the sky. But within a few decades, relentless hunting and habitat loss brought them down to zero. The last one died in 1914, in a zoo. And it's not just about the numbers. When a species disappears, it takes its role in the ecosystem with it. That might be controlling insects, pollinating plants, spreading seeds, or even feeding predators. The system doesn't break all at once, but piece by piece it becomes weaker, less stable, more vulnerable. So when you hear the word extinction, don't just picture the last one dying. Think of the first one struggling. That's where it begins. But here's the thing, that early stage, that's where we have the most power to help. So is there still time? Let's talk about what we can actually do and what's already worked. Because extinction might feel unstoppable, but that's not the full story. Yes, but only if we act now. Extinction might seem like an unstoppable force, but it isn't. In fact, we've already proven we can reverse it. Take the bald eagle. By the 1960s, it was nearly gone from the lower 48 states, poisoned by pesticides like DDT. But after the chemical was banned and conservation laws were put in place, the population rebounded. Today, bald eagles are no longer endangered, or the California condor, once just 27 individuals left. Thanks to captive breeding and careful reintroduction, there are now hundreds soaring over the western U.S. And when gray wolves were reintroduced to Yellowstone, they didn't just survive, they restored balance. Deer populations shrank, plants regrew, rivers stabilized. One species helped rebuild an entire ecosystem. So we have the tools: protected habitats, wildlife corridors, anti-poaching laws, sustainable farming, climate action. Even emerging technologies like genetic rescue and environmental DNA monitoring are helping scientists protect species before they vanish. But time is everything. Many species won't last another decade without action. And the ones you've never heard of, the small frogs, the pollinators, the deep-sea creatures, are disappearing the fastest. They don't make headlines, but ecosystems depend on them just the same. And you're not powerless. What you eat, what you support, where you shop, how you vote, it all shapes the world we share. We are the first species in Earth's history to understand extinction as it's happening, and we may be the only one with the power to stop it. So yes, extinction is natural, but mass extinction, this time it's a choice. And maybe that's the real turning point. Because if we caused it, we might still have time to undo it, but only if we start now.